Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Kevin. Today is Tuesday, August 16th, 2022. And we begin with what turns out to be pretty normal animal behavior is raising concern among some New Yorkers. When temperatures in the Big Apple recently reached into the mid-90s, members of the city's squirrel population responded by doing what animals often do to cool off. They splooted. Splooting is really just another word for when animals stretch out their hind legs behind them, usually on cool surfaces, in order to lower their body heat. Maybe you've seen your dog or cat sploot on hot days at home. Or maybe you've witnessed the half sploot, where one leg is out while the other remains tucked. In any case, the New York City Parks Department felt the need to issue a tweet along with an accompanying, and very cute, picture of a squirrel mid-sploot, reassuring city dwellers not to be alarmed. Meanwhile, down under, zookeepers at Australia's Adelaide Zoo did have cause for concern when one of their red pandas escaped from his enclosure. Having just arrived last week, 7-year-old Ravi was apparently more curious about exploring his new surroundings than he was about Mishri, the zoo's female red panda. After a 2-day search, zookeepers found him at a nearby park, chilling out in a fig tree. It took an all-day Sunday to get him down, but Ravi, the escapologist, is now back under the watchful eyes of zoo officials, who are reviewing camera footage to determine how he got away. According to the World Wildlife Fund, there are currently fewer than 10,000 of the endangered red pandas left in the world. Add Spider-Man to the list of celebrities taking a break from social media. Actor Tom Holland, who's starred as Marvel's web-slinger since 2016, has been off Instagram for about a month. He briefly returned to post a video announcing he's deleting the app, saying, "I get caught up and I spiral when I read things about me online, and ultimately, it's very detrimental to my mental state." In addition to taking a personal stand, Holland gave a shout-out for STEM4, a UK-based education program that promotes teenage mental health. The 26-year-old star acknowledged the challenge many teens face around asking for help, and that it's much easier said than done, but that it's something no one should feel ashamed of. Mariachi bands, known for their upbeat and celebratory sounds, often play a part in big celebrations. Now they have something new to celebrate themselves. When the U.S. Postal Service asked children's book illustrator Rafael Lopez to design a new stamp representing Latin American culture, he chose to honor the famous strolling musicians whose traditions date back to at least the 18th century. After 2 years in development, the stamps were released last month at a launch party at the Smithsonian's National Postal Museum, where guests were entertained by what else? A mariachi band based in Virginia. Was your summer vacation a little less exciting than you had hoped? It's not too early to gear up for the next one. Last Thanksgiving, 16-year-old Cal Courier realized he didn't want to spend another summer just vegging out before starting his junior year. So the California teen made a plan to sail across the Atlantic Ocean alone. Inspired by his dad, who's a transatlantic sailor himself, Cal completed the nearly 4,000-mile journey from Marion, Massachusetts to Lagos, Portugal on a 30-foot sailboat in just 28 days. And even more impressive, Cal didn't even start sailing lessons until January. As for how he passed those many hours all by himself, he says he spent a lot of time reading and pondering the questions of life. That's it for KidNuz. Now for today's KidNuz quiz. An escaped panda in Australia was found where? In a fig tree. How many miles did a California teen travel solo across the Atlantic? 4,000. Who's the latest celebrity to take a break from social media? Spider-Man star Tom Holland. What are some of New York City's squirrels doing to keep cool? Splooting. And in our KidNuz kicker, splooting could become even more common in the coming years, as a new report warns of an extreme heat belt taking shape around the United States. The nonprofit research group First Street Foundation is predicting that by the year 2053, the 107 million people who live in America's midsection can expect to experience more days of intense heat. The heat index, which is how the weather feels, is expected to reach 125 degrees Fahrenheit on some days. even in places like Chicago and southern Wisconsin. Before we go, we want to shout out our teachers, starting with Ms. Martin and her Patriots at Heritage High School in Conyers, Georgia. Mr. Fox and his Tiger Cubs at Perryworth Elementary in Lebanon, Indiana. Ms. Bing and her creative and smart Falcons at Gus Franklin Jr. STEM Academy in Victorville, California. And Mr. Magical and his 4th grade narwhals at New World Educational Center in Phoenix, Arizona. Thanks for listening, everyone. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And we hope you tune in for more Kid News tomorrow morning.